You alright guys, how's it going? It is David Clayton from KZR Racing once again, and welcome back to my F1 23 breaking point for chapters 15 and 16 today. We got through the Italian Grand Prix and Austrian Grand Prix yesterday, as we now get a call from as Callie Mayor from our mother.
Go on then, let's have it.
That's no way to answer the phone.
Say your piece, mother dearest.
Fine, if you want to be like that. I did say you need to be careful what you tell the media about your father, didn't I? That was the perfect opportunity today to smooth it all over, but no, you only reinforced what everyone's already saying about you.
That's just how I feel.
Oh, you've got a stubborn streak in you. I think it comes from your father. Definitely not mine. He was always so determined, unable to admit to his mistakes.
What's your point, Mum?
My point is that nobody likes your father. Sorry. Just be careful, Cal.
Yeah. Thanks, Mum.
I'll let you go, darling. Ciao.
Yep, another phone call in response to our media questions, and now we've got Andreo calling Callie.
Hey, Andreo.
Callie, about Aiden. I want to thank you for your diplomacy, shall we say.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's what I would have said anyway. It's no bother.
You're a real pro, Callie. You neutralized the issue so well.
I can spin a story. It's in my blood, sadly.
Yes, we best not talk about where you get that particular trait from.
I'd rather we didn't.
Would be better if we could use those skills to make the story go away completely, but we take what we get. Thanks, Callie.
Yeah, two phone calls there in response to our interview questions from last episode after the Italian Grand Prix. Not much in the way of other things that we need to talk about so far. We've got our things from Devon, Andrea, and our mother. We just had an email from Devon actually. New role. I know it might be a bit awkward having me around, but I just wanted to say, try not to think of me as your boss. I'm your brother first, and your superior second. Devon is fine in private, but if you could stick to sir in public, that'd be great. Yeah. classic Devon, and yeah, and there's the email from Andrea about the phone call that we just had. So we're going to go and head into the next chapter, chapter 15, Singapore Grand Prix, with their dysfunction clear for all to see, and with only a handful of races now left in the 2023 season, Connor Sport looks like a team on the ropes as they head to Singapore.
Slagging off? Hey.
Ooh. Scared the life out of me, mate.
I didn't mean to. Picking up any tips?
I don't think they like the short straights here.
You didn't mind them, did you?
I love this track. Always do well here. Well, used to.
How are you doing, Devon?
Me? Golden, mate. Loving life.
Yeah, sure.
You know what it's like to leave all this behind, don't you?
It's the most difficult thing I've ever done.
Yeah, well, like that. But, I didn't choose this, Casper. I didn't.
I know.
You came back, right? How's it treating you?
Ups and downs?
How's our old teammate doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think he's happy here.
He still thinks he belongs in that top team, see? He's never let it go. That's the problem. You know, I could have a word with him. I mean, if you think that might help.
It's all a bit delicate.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, I understand.
No, Devon, I mean it.
Yeah? Scout's on him, mate.
Yeah, even Casper is a little bit exasperated with that, knowing what Devon's like. Speaking of Casper, he needs to make a decision. An anonymous source has talked to the press about how Callie must not be criticised at Consport. It sounds like it came from the mechanic who had a run-in with Callie in the garage. The press are really latching onto this story. How do you want to handle it? Well, we've only got one choice here. The discipline action is locked off to us, which is it's obviously the mechanic from before. I won't stand for this. Dismiss them from their duties. They're fired. Or the only one we can choose, which is cautious. We don't know for sure where the story has come from. I'll talk to the press and tell them everything's fine. We need to tread carefully here. Now, Devon. Now we've got a second one. Devon Butler, professional motivator. Devon's just been in. He said the two of you had a little chat and that you both agree Aiden needs a bit of extra motivation. Is that true? He suggested setting an expected finishing position for him this weekend as third. No offence, boss, but that seems a bit overly ambitious. What's your plan? This will affect the bonus objective in the upcoming race. Typical Devon, we have our projections and we'll stick with them with our agreed plan. Or agree, I can't believe I'm agreeing with Devon, but let's do it. We need to try something here. So, if you remember from the last episode with Austria, we took a gamble on the tyre strategy, going on to the intermediates a little bit earlier. I think we're going to do the same here. Just like, I can't believe I'm agreeing with Devon. Yeah, true, but let's do it. We need to try something here. Just to give Aiden a bit of a boot up the backside and get him thinking straight. Andrea had a sit-down interview with the reporter that he had the fiery exchange with. Now a bit calmer, he still exuded the same passion that we know and love him for. He came across really well. The team loved how he seemed to have their backs, and we have been hearing positive statements from people all week. It's a real morale boost. So, yep, leaving Andrea to his own thing was the right call. Bad news, Lucas's article came out about you, and it's, as the PR department feared, people are calling it a puffs piece. This isn't the best look for the team, but yeah, gives and takes with the whole situation. So we have got a few bits and pieces to go through here. So here's the inevitable phone call from Andreo.
Andreo,
Did you read his email?
I glanced at it.
He's a sly old fox at that one. Thank you for finding a place for Devon. As if we had a choice, Casper. As if it was our decision.
Yeah, I know.
How's it going with Devon anyway?
Yeah, he's still struggling. But he does really care about the team, so, maybe it'll work out.
Well, that's something at least.
Rather him than his father, right?
Rather neither of them, Casper. Anyway, I'll see you.
Yeah, see you.
Yep, Andrea not really putting up with it, and now, yep, there's the inevitable phone call from Daddy Dearest.
Davidoff.
Ackerman. Look, I know it's none of my business, but that story about the mechanic's really blowing up. I trust you're dealing with it.
I'm going to clear everything up myself. I've arranged a press conference. I'll tell them everything's fine.
Well, that's not exactly what I'd call dealing with it.
You want me to fire him?
Well, that would be your decision, naturally.
I'm not going to fire a good mechanic without any proof. The decision is made.
So be it.
Again, public image, number one for Mr. Butler. So, with all else fails, as we have a look at a few of the comments with the Twitter blogs and whatnot. So, we're going to have a look here. Davidoff Butler, I'd like you to direct the media group's attention to start using Devon now that he's taken his role. Yep, trying to get the focus on Devon. So we're going to head to the race now.
Did Casper really want you to talk to Aiden?
I read between the lines. Look, Casper's good at lots of things, but I know people. Yeah, I know how to get in their heads. And I wanted to help Dad, help the team, so,
Leave me alone.
Listen, I'm just saying, mate, if you were such an incredible driver, you wouldn't be a constable, would you? Sorry, it's the truth. No offense.
Or maybe I won't be here next season.
Dude, You know what your problem is?
Yeah. You.
You think you're better than the team. I remember when Aiden Jackson was just happy to be behind the wheel of an F1 car. We all like that guy far better than this one.
You never liked me.
No. But Casper did. Once upon a time. Now you're different now. You think you're too good for the team. Your head's stuck in some imaginary big 3-seat in cloud cuckoo land, mate. No. You have got to drive the car you're in.
You're lecturing me about ego.
A subject I know well.
Oh, right. I get it. So you're allowed to be cocky, but I'm not. Is that it?
There's a difference.
How can there possibly be a difference?
This isn't you. This isn't you, mate.
Oh, get lost. Be true to myself. Drive the car I'm in. The wisdom of Devon Butler. Should I be living my best life too?
Just drive the car you're in, mate, yeah? Ciao.
He's given Devon. Devon's given Aiden a lot to think about here. With Devon's words still repeating in his head, a focused and determined Aiden Jackson looks to return to form.
Marina Bay hosted a Grand Prix that briefly ran in the 60s and 70s, but the Garden City re-entered the calendar for good in 2008. We missed it for a couple of years, but it was great to come back to the Singapore Grand Prix. The Marina Bay Street Circuit then has 23 corners, 13 to the left and 10 to the right, taking us a total of 3.1 miles around the landmarks of downtown Singapore. An average lap speed around here, just 107 miles per hour. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Oscar Piastri, Perez, Fernando Alonso, Verstappen, Leclerc, Norris, Joe, Ocon, Stroll, Jackson, Mayer, De Vries, Magnussen, Tsunoda, Gasly, Bottas, Sargent, Hulkenberg, Sargent. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. Well, it's a beautiful night here at the Marina Bay Circuit, and as ever, a really enthralling Singapore Grand Prix ahead of us.
That's right, Crofty, and while there's not many surprises at the top of the standings right now, there's a lot to watch out for further down the pack.
One driver I'll be definitely keeping my eye on is Connor Sports' Aiden Jackson. He's been less than consistent so far this season.
Aiden, you know what you're doing here. Let's lock in and give it everything. Show us what you got.
So now we got the race ahead of us for Singapore. 15 laps of the Grand Prix, one stop per softs to mediums. Not going to be too much of a thing. We're going to drop the fuel down because we know we're good on fuel in this car, and we will head to the Grand Prix with our primary objective being finish in the top 5. And I'm assuming also the secondary objective, which is the top 3 from our interview questions. Yes, it is. So, without further ado, we're going to go to 5 red lights for the Singapore Grand Prix. Drop the clutch and we are underway. Pretty good start for us. We're going to get the jump off of Stroll on the inside, go around the outside of Esteban Ocon as well. And we're going to break deep into turn 1 to try and get the jump on the Alfa Romeo of Guan Yu Zhou. We're going to go round the outside of turn 3, trying to find the traction, pick it up on our soft tyres as we do, and we get the jump on the Alfa Romeo man as we head into turn 5 now. Turn 5 and now down at the back straight. We're going to settle in and try and pick our moments here as we try and catch up to the car in front, Lando Norris. We're going to late brake into turn 8, and now we're going to just cheekily pick our moment down this corner here, round the inside, get a little kick of oversteer to force him out, and that's going to bring Guan Yu Zhou into the mix as well. But now, later on to the lap, we're going to get up to the back of Fernando Alonso, and then get the traction on the exit out of the hairpin down the back, second back straight here at Singapore. Easy as you like on the traction, and now ahead of us is Charles Leclerc, Verstappen, and then Oscar Piastri as well in P5. That'll be our main target objective, but we're going to again pick up traction on the exit out of turn 3 and then just side our way through down the inside of turn 4 onto the back straight. As now the first back straight as we now chase after Verstappen in the Red Bulls. Now we're going to skip just a little bit further ahead into this race, the second back straight. Again, like with Alonso, pick up the traction early and get past Verstappen on the outside. He's still there, but he's going to wisely back out. We're going to cut across just to make sure. And now we catch up to Oscar Piastri in the start of lap 3 with DRS active. No DRS here, so we're just going to poke our nose down the inside. He's going to back off and give us the room there. Just spook him out of the position. That's us up into P4 of this P5. Sorry, we've got our objective. P4 now is coming up with Sergio Perez, just like his teammate and Alonso before him. We're going to get the traction, get the DRS open this time. We're just going to power past him on the outside. He's going to come back at us in the braking zone, but we're going to have the line around the outside, easy on the power, get the traction, and that is us up into P4. And now the bonus objective comes in. We're going to catch up to George Russell on the main straight. He's got DRS of his teammate, but we're just going to ease our way down the inside of George Russell, and that is P3 in this race now. As we're now going to close up to his teammate ahead of us, Lewis Hamilton, who did start on pole. It was a Red Bull, it was a Mercedes lockout on the front row, but Carlos Sainz ahead has gotten ahead of them off the start, and we're now going to get the traction and the DRS down the inside of the Mercedes as we head down to the next corner. Easy on the brakes, take that corner, and that is us into P2. And there is only one left ahead of us, and that is Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari, separating us from the lead of the Singapore Grand Prix. Get the traction, get the DRS open. Carlos Sainz is going to force us to the inside. He's going to squeeze us real hard to the inside, but we're going to not give him any leeway. We're leaving room on the outside, but that is us up into P1 of this Grand Prix. And from here on, guys, not a lot happened from here on. We managed to get the lead. We came in, made our pit stop, changed tyres. Didn't really lose many places that we got back under the pit stop phases. But that is probably the one of the best case scenario races for Aiken Jackson in real life. We really got well and truly ahead of the game there. Got to the lead early, and then when the pit stops came round, it was the easy run to the line from there.
Well, the results are in there. We have it. What a race that was. The sheer grit and determination shown by some of the drivers out there today, Crofty, was nothing short of incredible.
Elbows out, especially from Aiden Jackson. Loved his race today, and he finally delivered the sort of performance that we know that he's capable of. So whatever they're saying to him over at Connor Sport, he seems to be listening to.
Now, Aiden, you have had your ups and downs this season, but tell me, on the whole, are you pleased with your overall performance?
So it's a good question here. We've got, I've given it my all this season. All no, today's performance should be the norm for me, and it should be because we know what he's capable of.
Today's race should be a normality, not an exception. You know, if I can get a few more performances like today, then yeah, I'll be much happier.
Okay, I'm going to be cheeky, go straight for the jugular. If you had to choose a teammate between Callie and Devon, who would it be?
Well, we have an extra choice here for the reputation, which is Casper. Between Callie and Devon, I think I know who Avon would go for.
I'm getting into trouble whatever I say here, aren't I? Can I have Casper back as a teammate instead? I'll talk him out of retirement.
Now, Aiden, you have recently hinted that you're not entirely happy at Connor Sport. Tell me, is it true? Now,
this is going to be a different question here. Is all teams have their issues. A change might do. It's irrelevant. I've got a job to do this season. Connor Sport are my family. You don't always see eye to eye, but you all want the same thing. This is actually a little bit of a typical one. You can say all teams have their issues and that, but the last one, that bottom one's a little bit too cheesy. So we'll say all teams have their issues.
No. That's completely overblown. You know, all teams have issues, but I want to do everything in my power to make it work at Connorsport.
There's been wild speculation on whether or not Connorsport can even be on the grid next season, so can you tell us more?
So this one is a little bit of a landmine question. I can't imagine anyone pulling funding at this stage. It wouldn't surprise me if we struggle to find funding, or that's a question for the investors. With this one, we're Aiden. I think that's a question for the investors.
That seems like a question for the investors, but no one's funding Connorsport as a charity. They're funding it as a business. And if a business isn't successful, then there's definitely an issue.
Thank you so much for your time.
That's a few tricky questions there for Aiden. As we go to the post-race, under the floodlights of Singapore, Aiden Jackson puts in a magnificent performance for Connorsport. Now back in Aiden's dressing room. I'm expecting a phone call any second. There we are, from Davidoff.
Hi, Davidoff.
Aiden, quite the answer you gave today. Didn't have you pegged as a man of business.
Yeah, I didn't really think anything of it. Of course you need to make money.
Don't we all, Aiden?
Yeah, but Connorsport must be profitable, right?
We're still running the projections for next season.
So it's not certain then?
Time will tell. You said it yourself, it's just business. Thanks, Aiden.
Yeah, abrupt and to the point for Mr. Butler there. So, not much else in the way of, let's have a look at setup day. Butlers, we got from Brian Doyle from last season. You can't always get away from those butlers, eh? Can't believe Devon's back, presumably as a full-time brat. I love Brian Doyle. I miss him so much. I jest. I'm sure Devon's good larks. I've just seen the GP from the Maldives. Dodgy Wi-Fi in this hotel, but I saw enough to see your race. First place, so return to the form. Nice one, Aiden. And then one from Devon. All right, Aiden, Casper's talking about your interview today. If I were you, I'd avoid him for a while, unless you want another round of media trading foisted on you. Not bad out there today, by the way. You keep listening to your old pal Devon. Who knows what you might accomplish. Yep, cheeky Devon as per usual. So we're going to head into the next chapter.
Come on, I just want to chat, Cal.
Why? Because he told you to?
Stop making this about him. Just talk to me.
We raced in a lot of the same races growing up, and one of us would always have a better race than the other. So in the car on the way home, one of us would be happy and the other would be completely miserable. There was no middle ground. It was like it was impossible for us both to be happy at the same time. And it's kind of been the same ever since.
Look, it's my job to talk to the drivers, Callie.
Yeah, and who gave you that job?
Why are you being like this? It's not even me you're angry with.
Maybe it is.
Oh, really? This again? We were kids, Callie.
You left me behind.
Come on, what was I supposed to say? Oh, thanks, Dad, for continuing to invest in my career, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to decline, just in case I hurt poor Callie's feelings.
Of course not.
And what?
It didn't have to be a choice, Dev. He had the money to fund both of our careers. I wanted you to fight for me. He never listened to me. He always listened to you.
Well, we were young.
Yeah. But we're adults now.
Yeah. Well, if it's any consolation, I'm not much competition anymore.
You never were.
I'm sorry, Callie. For everything. You were always faster than me. There, I said it.
Nice try.
I mean it.
And did you mean it?
Of course not! Faster than me? No. She was never faster than me. She'd love that. No. But if there's one thing my old man taught me, it's that sometimes people need to hear what they need to hear. You know?
bit of emotional and mental warfare going on there. 1 month later at the Brazilian Grand Prix, Chapter 16. Over the last few race weekends, Consport have managed to demonstrate so much needed consistency. The paddock now heads to Brazil for the penultimate race of the season. And now we're back in Callie's dressing room for this one. So at some point, we're going to get a phone call. There it is. And it is from, yep, it is our mother again.
Hey, Mum.
Cal, I'm reading more and more about these funding issues.
Only an issue if we don't get fifth, apparently. What do you make of it all?
Well, he won't really do it, surely. I mean, it's only been 2 seasons, for goodness sake. And Consport certainly isn't the worst team on the grid.
You have a real way with words, Mum.
What's your father have to say for himself?
I have no idea.
You've still not spoken to him?
I'm sure you can relate.
Yes, but I mean, I don't have to work with the man. Look, you don't have to like him, you only have to talk to him.
You sound like Devon.
Oh, maybe Devon has a point.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Mum. I'm going now.
Lots of love. Bye.
Callie's still having the issues. We're trying to talk to her dad, but I don't think it's going to be avoidable in this next race coming up. So we're just anything going. We got an email from our mother. So much to talk about. Your father pulling funding. I'm just so furious about the whole thing, aren't we all? And then Casper. You've seen all the press right now about the future of Consport. I know it can be disheartening to read those stories, but remember, we deal with it by focusing on our performance. We're here to do the job to the best of our ability. That's it. Whatever happens, have a great Sao Paulo, which I will do. I've always liked Sao Paulo on the F1 games. It's been a really good track for me to race on, so I know for a fact I'm going to get another good result here, hopefully. So we're going to head to the race.
Absolutely.
Why are you doing this? I saw him in the paddock. This would have been Sao Paulo. And I finally spoke to him. I just wanted to know why.
Something's come up. I'll call you back. Callie, so I'm allowed to talk to you now.
Why are you doing this?
Doing what?
Why are you being so hard line about this?
For this to be a worthwhile investment, Consport Racing must be successful. It's just business.
It's not, though, is it?
Excuse me?
Well, why am I in the team if it's just business? Why was Devon? You can't keep involving your family in this and then hiding behind it's just business.
This is one of the biggest investments I have ever made. I must take care of the business. Callie. Who do you think will inherit it after I'm gone?
Well, Devon. Obviously. I'm not interested in any of it.
These matters are complex, Callie. But they all benefit the business. They all benefit the family. And ultimately, they all benefit you.
You said this the last time you tried to stop me racing. I didn't buy it at 12, and I certainly don't buy it now. I don't understand what goes on in that head of yours. You threatened to end my F1 career, and then you claim it's for my benefit.
Have you any idea how much money I have plowed into the team?
Yeah, that's the thing with you. Money. Nothing changes.
I wouldn't expect you to understand.
No, Dad. I wouldn't expect you to.
You need to be more realistic, that's all. Not everyone survives in F1. You know that.
5th in the standings.
5th.
5th.
As you can see, Callie is still not having anything of her dad's attitude, so she's going to go out and prove a point in the Brazilian Grand Prix mid-race. The late safety car has provided Callie Mayer with an opportunity to turn around after her misfortunes turn around her fortunes at Interlagos.
Safety car's in this lap. Repeat, the safety car is in this lap. That means it's our chance to shine. Come on, you can do this. Let's go.
Nope. No pressure then.
Yeah, no pressure. Secure a top 5 finish within 6 laps after the safety car has bunched everyone up. So we're going to drop those 5 red lights and away we go on the safety car restart. And we're going to get straight to work with a dive bomb down the inside of the Williams of Alexander Albon. Easy as you like. Ease him out wide. Take the line, and that is us up into P13. We've got a lot of work to do here, so we're going to have to crack on and get our heads down and chase after the back of the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. We're going to break deep into turn 4 as we catch him completely unaware on the traction zone, as we just ease our way down the inside, catch him unaware as he's caught up behind the Haas of Nico Hulkenberg. And now we're just going to closely follow him up the hill as we go through into the next corner, just poke our nose down the inside and just, again, taking advantage of the fact that all these cars are bunched up, and we're going to do the same. Use the superior traction on our soft tyres to get around the outside of Guan Yu Zhou. As we now look at the back of Logan Sargent. Guan Yu Zhou tries to have a look round, but it's not going to work, as now we ease our way around the outside of Logan Sargent, and then we're not going to mess around with our teammate. We're just going to dive it straight down the inside as we get on the rung, up the back straight, up the hill towards the next lap. And speaking of the next lap, we're going to catch up to George Russell in the traction zone out turn 3, get as real close to him as possible. He tries to block us off. We're going to fake to the outside, get the slipstream of Oscar Piastri, and we're just going to go around the outside of the Mercedes man. And now we've got both Bottas and Piastri, our top five primary objective, along with our secondary objective, which is P3 with the fastest lap. We're going to try and go around the outside of Piastri, but we're going to go off track, and we're going to have to hand that place back. That's going to be an advantage gain there, and you have to focus on George Russell, just ease him out wide, showing the cold shoulder there. But yeah, tried to do a Lewis Hamilton there on Pierre Gasly in 2021, but it didn't quite work out for me there. So we wait until here to get down the inside of Pierre Gasly. Now we're going to look at the Alfa Romeo of Valtteri Bottas. We're just going to follow him through, try and pick up the traction as soon as we can up the hill towards the start-finish line, and that is P5 done and dusted. So now we've just got the the next objective, which is P3, just ahead of us. That's Pierre Gasly. Sorry, it was Esteban Ocon I was looking at the back of in the previous race. The safety cars really mess up this field, because we've got Gasly P3, Nick De Vries P2, and I believe that's Fernando Alonso leading this race up ahead. So we're going to follow Gasly through up the hill here towards the next corner. Just ease our way down the inside. Try not to make a mistake there. We're now going to think about looking towards the outside of Nick De Vries. Doesn't quite work out, so we're going to switch and go to the outside here, and he just no nonsense shuts the door in our faces there. So now we're going to get the traction out of this hairpin. Now down the hill on the power, so much sooner than the used medium tyres of Nick De Vries, and now we're already looking at Fernando Alonso. We are in DRS range and we are quite far back, but I do believe if we can time this right, we can get a good dive bomb here. Got ERS deployed, DRS is open, there we are. The engine's revving out so hard as we catch up so quickly, and in the brake zone, make the dive bomb down the inside of the Senna S into the next corner. A little bit of oversteer there, but we managed to catch it and keep ahead of the Aston Martin of Fernando Alonso, and that is going to see us through to the end of the Brazilian Grand Prix. 2 races in 1 episode and 2 wins back to back, 1 for Aiden and 1 for Callie. That was really had fun driving Brazil. I've always liked Brazil on the F1 games, and that was no exception. That was really good fun.
Well, what a fantastic race that was. Absolutely loved it. But Natalie, do you think we see Connor Sport next season? Rumours say maybe not.
I hope so. I feel like they deserve it. They've been box office for me. They've taken chances, they've been bold in all their moves, and ultimately that's great for us and for the fans.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more, but there's not much of the season left, and they'll be hoping they can carry this form into the final stages. Time will tell.
And here, hello again, Natalie.
Wow, Callie, a really strong performance out there today. Just tell me though, how big a role did the safety car play?
Well, the safety car is always going to play a role in the situation. So out of the 3 answers, we're going to go for the bottom one.
I just think it's never about the safety car, not really. Every race has its opportunities, whatever form they take. it always comes back to the driver and whether they can make the most of a situation.
Callie, your first F1 season is nearing an end. It must feel like a long road, but clearly you've put a lot into it. And is there anyone else that's been particularly influential this season?
Well, we've got the 4 answers. We've got Daddy Dearest and Brother Devon. We've got Aiden and Casper. But throughout her whole career, there's only really been one person that's been that as big of an influence for Callie than Casper.
I've got Casper to thank for so much of this. He was there for me in F2 last season, and he was the one who fought so hard for my seat at Connosport, and without him, I may not even be here, so cheers to Casper.
And tell me, I'm not sure I could do it, but how has it been working so very closely with your family?
It's going to be one of those things. It's been okay. We know when to give each other space. They're just people I work with to do my job. I keep it professional. It's well, taking our mother's advice, it's been okay. We know when to give each other space, or it's been a challenge. Family is never straightforward. For Callie, I think that's probably the answer that she would give.
Yeah, it's been a challenge. Let's just say we've all got our own opinions. Family is never straightforward, and that's especially true of mine.
There are rumours circulating that Connosport may not be around next season. Can you comment?
Again, with this one, possibly it depends on how we close out the season. No comment, but just like Evan, just like Aiden, sorry, we're going to say that's a question for our investors.
That sounds like a question for our investors. I'm sure we'd all appreciate a public statement on the matter.
That's great, thank you.
Again, more landmine questions in regards to family and the future of the team. But for now, guys, we're going to end out on here. We're going to end out on this. This will be the final chapter at Abu Dhabi, being the final race of the season. So, if you guys did enjoy the episode, do feel free to leave a like and share this video around. It really helps, and feel free to comment as well. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of those videos. I'm David Clayton of KZR Racing, and we'll see you next time for the finale of Breaking Point. Goodbye.